There are phrases that seem to come from somewhere outside of time, sentences that arrive in the world like keys dropped into locked hands. And among all the sentences whispered through the corridors of occult history, none vibrates quite like this one. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. You may have heard it before, maybe in fragments, maybe with suspicion, maybe without realizing that behind these 10 words lies an entire cosmology, a spiritual map encrypted inside a maxim that the modern world has almost entirely misunderstood. Tonight, you're not just listening to an idea, you're stepping into a threshold that has been waiting for you. Imagine a world at the turn of the 20th century when the old esoteric orders guarded their symbols behind closed doors, when Europe pulsed with the last breath of Victorian restraint, and when spiritual seekers were beginning to suspect that something immense was stirring under the surface of civilization. In that moment of tension between the old magical worldview and a new century longing for meaning, a figure appeared who would fracture the landscape of occult thought. Aleister Crowley, a name that still echoes through modern spirituality and pop culture, sometimes with fascination, sometimes with fear, but always with mystery. Yet none of that noise really matters here, because the truth behind Thelema, the spiritual system Crowley claimed to have received in 1904, is not about rebellion or ego or indulgence. Its core, the core you're about to walk into, is older than Crowley himself, older even than the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, where he first trained. It reaches back to the Gnostic spark, to the Hermetic idea of a hidden divine order, to the Kabbalistic notion of the soul's radiant center. The phrase, "do what thou wilt," is not a license for chaos. It is a call to alignment. To understand how this call emerged, we have to return to a moment that Crowley believed changed the spiritual current of the entire world. Cairo, 1904, a hotel room, a honeymoon, a series of strange synchronicities, and a voice, or what Crowley claimed was a voice, dictating a sacred text over the course of 3 days. That text would become the Book of the Law, or Liber vel Legis, the foundation of the philosophy of Thelema. Crowley insisted he did not write it. He described the being who delivered it as Aiwass, a messenger of a higher intelligence. Whether we take that literally, symbolically, psychologically, or mythologically, doesn't change the impact the text has had. What matters is that he believed it was the declaration of a new Aeon, the Aeon of Horus, and that humanity was entering a stage where the old laws, based on fear and submission, had run their course. The new paradigm required something different, the awakening of will, not desire, not impulse, will. I'm Gabriel Alexandra, and you're at Esoterica Mind Portal, a space created for everyone who feels There's more beyond the visible. Every video here is like a call from your own soul, a silent reminder of what you truly are. So if this resonates with you, subscribe now and hit the bell so you can keep walking with me through these mysteries. Also, drop a like. It's the fuel that keeps this light on. And share this knowledge with others. Help other people wake up too. This topic was suggested by Evelyn Grace, and I want to know, what subject would you like to see here next? Write it in the comments. Whatever gets the most likes will inspire the next video. Now, let's get back to our documentary. But what does that really mean? For more than a century, countless people have interpreted the phrase as if it meant, do whatever you want. And yet, anyone who has ever touched genuine spiritual practice knows that true inner purpose has nothing to do with whim. The will spoken of in Thelema is closer to the ancient idea of the daimon in Greek philosophy, the inner guiding spirit that knows the path before the personality understands it. It resonates with the Kabbalistic Tiferet, the heart of the tree of life, the point where the human soul aligns with its divine blueprint. It echoes the Christian mystical teaching that the kingdom of God is within you, not outside of you. It mirrors the Gnostic belief that each human carries a spark of a higher order, forgotten under the weight of material existence. And still, we are only at the surface. Consider this for a moment. What if "do what thou wilt" shall be the whole of the law is not a command, but a revelation, a statement describing how the universe already functions? Just as gravity pulls everything toward a center of mass, what if the cosmos itself pulls every being toward the expression of its true will, its deepest essential purpose? And what if most suffering comes not from what happens to us, but from drifting away from that inner trajectory? Suddenly, this phrase becomes something else entirely. Not a slogan, but a sentence that rearranges the way we look at the world. As the 20th century unfolded, wars, revolutions, scientific breakthroughs, spiritual reawakenings, Thelema quietly spread across occult circles, secret societies, magical orders, and eventually into the modern spiritual underground. The Ordo Templi Orientis, the AA, various esoteric Masonic circles, independent Hermetic groups, all absorbed, debated, and reinterpreted the meaning of will. And while some rejected Crowley entirely, others saw in Thelema the blueprint for a new kind of inner liberation. Not liberation from morality, but liberation from unconsciousness. The modern world, with all its noise, materialism, and spiritual amnesia, makes this teaching more urgent than ever. Because if the human being does not know their will, something else will decide for them. Society, algorithms, fear, the expectations of others, or the inertia of distraction. And perhaps that is why the maxim has resurfaced so strongly in contemporary spirituality. It strikes at the core of the crisis we are living. But the true depth of this law and the secret encoded inside it requires us to go further. Because the second half of the formula is just as important, though often forgotten. And to grasp it fully, we must explore what Thelema really means, what true will is, how ceremonial magic fits into this puzzle, and how the Aeon of Horus reframed humanity's spiritual destiny. And that begins now. To understand what truly begins at this point, we must step into the heart of the law itself, the concept of true will. Everything within Thelema spirals back to it, like planets orbiting an invisible star. True will is not desire, not preference, not fantasy. It is the innermost trajectory of a being, the path that the universe etched into the fabric of your existence before you ever spoke your name. In ancient Hermetic philosophy, this was the inner logos. In the Platonic mystery schools, it was the call of the daimon. In Kabbalah, it was the radiance of Tiferet, where individuality meets divine intention. And in Gnostic cosmology, it was the spark that remembers the heavens even while trapped in matter. Crowley simply gave it another name, will, and wrapped it in a language designed to awaken the modern seeker. Picture true will as something that does not shout, but pulls. It is not loud, but it is unmistakable. It is the sensation you feel when a choice aligns, imperfectly with who you are, not because it is easy or pleasurable, but because it feels inevitable, natural, deeply coherent. This is why Crowley insisted that discovering one's true will is not an act of indulgence, but of discipline, a stripping away of illusions, masks, and the false personalities that society forces upon us. In this sense, Thelema is not about doing whatever you feel. It is about discovering what you were born to do. The Book of the Law declares that humanity has entered the Aeon of Horus, a new spiritual era marked not by submission to external doctrines, but by the awakening of the individual star. Horus symbolizes the crown, the child, the force of self-realization. In this aeon, the focus shifts from obeying imposed structures to uncovering one's inner purpose. And that shift carries profound responsibility, because when you are no longer told what to be, you must finally confront who you are. Within this framework, the phrase, "love is the law, love under will," reveals its deeper meaning. Love, in Thelemic terms, is not mere emotion, it is union. It is the magnetic force that draws beings together, the same force that pulls planets into orbit and ideas into manifestation. But love must be under will, shaped, focused, guided by the core truth of your existence. Without will, love becomes chaos. Without love, will becomes tyranny. Together, they form the equation of a balanced life, a balanced soul, a balanced universe. To explore this further, we turn to ceremonial magic, which Crowley redefined as the science and art of causing change in accordance with will. This principle does not describe supernatural theatrics, rather it articulates a psychological and spiritual technology. Rituals, symbols, invocations and meditations serve as tools designed to align the practitioner with their true will. They are not meant to force the world to obey one's desires, but to refine the operator's consciousness until the path becomes visible. The magician does not bend reality. The magician learns to stop bending themselves out of shape. This idea is not exclusive to Thelema. Masonic esotericism speaks of the inner architect building the temple of the self. Theosophy discusses higher planes and the evolution of consciousness. Hellenistic philosophy teaches that virtue arises from living in harmony with the rational order of the cosmos. Even early Christianity, before it became institutionalized, emphasized the notion of the kingdom of God as something discovered within. Across cultures, the same truth whispers, align with what you truly are, and the universe moves with you. What Crowley added, controversially or brilliantly depending on who you ask, was a methodology for experiencing this alignment directly. The AA, the magical order he founded, structured the path as a series of inner initiations aimed at stripping away illusion. The Ordo Templi Orientis, though more symbolic and ritualistic, emphasized the integration of spiritual and material life. In both systems, the aim was the same, the discovery of will, the awakening of the star. As we trace these ideas across traditions, we begin to understand that the Thelemic concept of will is less of a doctrine and more of a universal principle resurfacing in modern language. The notion of a soul purpose echoes through Hindu Dharma, through Taoist Wu Wei, through the Native American vision quest, through the Sufi idea of the heart's secret. Every wisdom tradition has pointed toward a hidden map inside each human being. Thelema simply frames it with a clarity tailored for the modern mind. And this brings us to the intersection of Thelema and modern psychology. Jung spoke of individuation, the process by which a person becomes whole by integrating shadow, desire, intuition, reason, and archetypal forces. Thelema mirrors this precisely. To discover your will, you must confront your unconscious, your conditioning, your internalized fears. You must peel back the layers until only the essential remains. In this sense, Thelema becomes not a religion, but a profound spiritual psychology, one that predates the modern therapeutic model, yet anticipates its discoveries. We are living in an era of unprecedented distraction, fragmentation, and inner disconnection. People feel empty not because they lack comfort or opportunity, but because they have no compass. The world teaches them what to want, what to chase, what to fear, what to dream, and the voice of the true will becomes buried beneath the noise. Perhaps this is why Thelema's central maxim resurfaces now with such resonance. It speaks not to rebellion, but to remembering, not to chaos, but to coherence, not to ego, but to essence. And yet there is still a secret at the core of this law, something rarely discussed outside deeper circles of study. A secret that changes everything we think we know about will, freedom, and destiny. To reveal that, we must move into the final movement of this journey, where Thelema meets the modern world, and where the true heart of the law unveils itself. The secret at the core of Thelema begins with a paradox that most readers overlook. When the Book of the Law declares, "Every man and every woman is a star," it is not speaking poetically. It is describing a universal structure. A star follows its orbit. It does not compete with other stars. It does not imitate. It does not crawl across the sky trying to be something it is not. Its path is fixed not by limitation, but by its nature. And in the same way, true will is not something you invent. It is something you uncover, something you agree to embody, something that reveals itself when the noise of the world finally gets quiet enough for you to hear it. This is the hidden layer. True will is not freedom from law. It is freedom within the deepest law of your existence. And that is why the phrase, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law," is paired with love. Is the law love under will? Will is not the rejection of responsibility. It is the acceptance of the responsibility of being yourself at the highest possible level. When a person follows their true will, conflict dissolves, friction decreases. Life becomes directional, actions gain clarity, choices become aligned not with momentary emotion, but with something older and wiser living within you. But for this to make sense in the modern world, we must confront a deeper truth. Most people have never met themselves. They know their habits, their anxieties, their contradictions. They know the roles they play. But the center, the silent, luminous center, remains hidden. Modern society is built to distract from that center. The endless scroll, the algorithmic noise, the pressure to conform, the fear of missing out, the culture of comparison, all of it creates a fog that obscures inner purpose. Thelema cuts through that fog like a blade. It forces a question that cannot be easily ignored. If you removed every voice that was not yours, who would you be? And what would you do? This is where Thelema becomes dangerous, but not in the way its critics imagine. The danger lies in the fact that once you glimpse your will, you can no longer pretend you didn't. The old excuses fall away. You realize that the life lived for others, the dreams borrowed from society, the paths chosen out of fear, none of them were truly yours. And this realization is both liberating and unsettling, because now you must choose, follow the inner path or return to sleep. In ceremonial magic, this awakening is symbolized by the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel, not an external entity in a simplistic sense, but the perfected core of the self, the voice of true will speaking clearly. This concept appears in ancient traditions under different names: the demon of Socrates, the genius of Roman spirituality, the Yechidah of Kabbalah, the spiritual guide in Sufi mysticism. The process of contacting this inner guide is not about summoning something supernatural. It is about aligning with the deepest truth of your being. And when that alignment is achieved, will no longer feels like effort. It becomes a current, a flow, a direction that was always waiting. In the Aeon of Horus, humanity is called to reclaim agency. Not egoic individuality, but conscious individuality. Horus symbolizes the sovereign child, the self that arises not from rebellion against the past, but from the maturity of inner awakening. Under this aeon, authority moves inward. No priest, no institution, no tradition can dictate your will. They can guide, illuminate, contextualize, but only you can discover your own orbit. And that is why Thelema often appears radical, because it places the responsibility of meaning directly into the hands of the individual. Yet the true beauty of Thelema reveals itself when we realize that true will is never isolated. A star does not crash into another star when both follow their rightful paths. Harmony emerges not from obedience, but from alignment. In this sense, Thelema offers a solution to one of the greatest crises of the modern age, the crisis of direction. When people do not know their will, they wander through life in fragmentation. They seek validation instead of purpose. They confuse intensity with meaning. They chase experiences, hoping that one of them will reveal who they are. But when will is found, the endless seeking stops. The person becomes centered, intentional, coherent, and coherence is magnetic. It draws opportunities, synchronicities, relationships, and insights that match the inner trajectory. Perhaps this is the final secret hidden inside the law. Will is not discovered through grand gestures or dramatic changes, but through the quiet recognition of what has always been true. It is something remembered, not invented. Something that emerges when you are honest enough to admit what your soul has been whispering since the beginning. And now, returning to the sentence that opened this journey, we can see it from a higher vantage point. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law is not a command to act without thought. It is not a challenge to moral order. It is a reminder that the universe has written a path inside you, a path that becomes the axis around which your entire life can turn. When you follow that path, you become a force of nature. When you ignore it, life becomes friction. In a world drowning in noise, meaninglessness, and spiritual amnesia, this law invites each person to reclaim the forgotten center, to become conscious, to remember, to wake up. And perhaps that is why you are here, listening, not by accident, not by coincidence, but because something in you recognizes the truth hidden behind these words. Something in you feels the pull of your own star. The journey does not end here. It begins here. And as you step back into your life after this moment, the question will follow you like a quiet echo. What is your will? Because once you ask it sincerely, the universe begins to answer. Now tell me in the comments, do you want a part 2 of this video? Type, I want a part 2 of this video. That way, I'll know this journey touched you, and I'll prepare the continuation especially for you. If you like this content, take a look at our profile. There's a lot there that'll expand your vision even more. We've got documentaries on the all-seeing, the pentagram, Freemasonry, secret societies, and so much more. Biographies of masters like Aleister Crowley, Helena Blavatsky, Pythagoras, Eliphas Levi, and many others who paved the way for the spiritual knowledge you feel pulsing inside you. Every video on this channel is built on deep research and study, crafted with dedication to add to your life and awaken your best self. Also, drop in the comments the name of who you want to see in the next video. Your suggestion helps guide the next steps on this path of wisdom. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because every new video here is made to awaken what's highest in you. Double check that the bell is on so you're sure to get the next videos. And honestly, I'm deeply grateful to have you here with me on this walk. Every view, every comment, every minute of your attention helps this community grow and keeps alive the search for the knowledge that sets us free. Now choose one of the videos on the screen and keep going with me. Each one was created to bring you a little closer to your best self and to the truth that lives within you.